Today is day 116 of the podcast, and when we think about Abraham and God promising children to Abraham, this is good news to them. This is something that he's wanted, something he's looked forward to and anticipated, but at this point in his life, it's no longer expected that anything like that could ever happen to him. So when he encounters God, God begins to direct him and lead him out of his country to a promised land. And as he begins to obey the Lord and what the Lord directs him to do, there's some powerful promises that have gone along with Abram's obediences. And once God promises him children, that raises an expectation level. God's promised him a seed that's going to come to him and to his family line. He's promising him his inheritance is going to be great, and it's going to go down generation after generation. But when God promises this to Abram and Sarah, there is a significant delay between the promise and then the promise's fulfillment. When we first see Abram in this story, he's 75 years old, and the promise is given, and then we find that in Genesis 17:1, Abram is now 99 years old, and still the promise hasn't been received. There's this long delay in between the promise and receiving that promise, and the birth taking place. So at this point, when you have almost 25 years of delay, then you start to wonder, is there something I'm supposed to be doing to help God? And Abram and Sarah, they step in to help God. Sarah brings Abram her maid and suggests that Abram take her maid, and then they have children together to fulfill this promise. So when they step in to help God, Ishmael's born, and Ishmael then has a long lineage of generations that have followed from his seed as well. And the strife in our world today is between the seed of Isaac, the promised son, and Ishmael, the son that Abram and Sarah made from their own ideas. So when we take the promises of God and we add our own flesh and our own ways and our own will into the mix, we can come up with Ishmaels as well. So here's your question today. Have you ever tried to help God, and what was the result?